Do you have any idea what their defense is going to be, given the fact that the judge is basically taking away their defense?
Am I the only person in the world talking about attacking the timeline, attacking the timeline, attacking the timeline, attacking the timeline?
Do you have any idea what their defense is going to be, given the fact that the judge is basically taking away their defense?
Taking away their defense.
Like, am I in crazy? 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 Like, am I in crazy?
Challenge the timeline of the murders.
Talking about attacking the timeline.
What's the strategy today?
Winning.
Winning.
Whose motherfucking hair is that?
What's the strategy today?
Winning.
Winning.
The consensus has been challenge the timeline of the murders. Challenge the timeline of the murders.
What's up, y'all? How we doing? We are doing an impromptu live because we heard from a friend of ours who was inside the courtroom today, who has a long drive, who wanted to get some stuff off her chest. So I think she'll be joining us in a few here. But it's good to see everybody. We got Shell. Hi, Shell. Scotty says, Angie, what I'm hearing has me skittish. Tell me something good. Had really good soup for lunch. Dr. Walla is a pick-me liar. And Brad Weber is probably Bridge Guy. That's what I've got. Hi, Hammy. Love you, friend. Oh my gosh, exactly, Scotty. So you know. Hey, Terry. Hi, Edge Chaos. Let's go. Christine. Hello, my dear. Hi, Luke. Thank God you're here. That's what I'm saying. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Hello, DB. Good to see you. Hello, Kira. Hi, Mandy. It's impromptu. Jayo. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Good morning, Joanna. Hi, Bree. Not getting notifications, unacceptable. It is Oksana. We're waiting for beautiful Oksana to arrive. What kind of soup? It was baked potato soup. My cousin made it. It was delicious. Adjusted fate. I came here to regain my sanity from being present for the insanity happening in other places today. Well, adjusted fate, I'm happy you're here. I like your avatar. Beautiful pupper. 10 out of 10. Hunter's Bridge. Good point. Good point. Hi, Braun. Bullets for dinner. Hello. Hiya. You were about to do a video for YouTube. Do it, Indy Cindy. Oh my God. It'd be amazing. Huntagachi. Hello, Steve. Hallelujah, I missed you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends, our friend is here. I'm going to put you in, Oksana. Ready or not, here you come.
Can you hear me?
Hello, beautiful.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly. How are you?
Hi. I am great. I decided after last night I couldn't sleep all night, literally after the live last night. And I just couldn't sleep. So I woke up this morning to get some work done, and I was like, I'm just going to go and see if I can get in after lunch. And they are a lot more organized now, which is great. There's a line. There's like line starts here. So it was me and there's another two lovely ladies. We were first three. So I kind of felt bad for everybody who was there. I think we got there like 11:30. And I think they let like around 12:30-ish maybe after lunch. So everybody came down and immediately got in line. There's quite a few people in line already. after us. So, but I think everybody got in. There was fewer media passes, with fewer people with media passes, so we all got in.
Yeah.
So it was pretty awesome. So while we were standing waiting for them to go to lunch, they started coming down, and I could tell it was a rough morning. And I had no idea. I didn't have time to really check for anything, so I could tell it was a rough morning. Kathy just like had a really deep sigh as she was coming down the steps. I was like, "Uh-oh, something was probably something was rough."
Yeah.
I wanted to, like the notes for the overall session. I think nobody's gonna do it better than Andrea, but I'll give you guys some notes. But I really wanted to take my time and observe. I was very, very, very interested in looking at the jury, and it was the most fascinating thing to me. Just watch them intently. I think, I don't know. I would put my money on the leader there. There's two, and I think they would make good babies. I don't know if they have partners, but they are both beautiful. There's a guy in the top row. He's beautiful, and then there's a girl at the and they just, you can tell that they really care. They pay attention, taking a lot of notes. But as the day went on, I saw there's a couple jurors that I don't know why, like why are they there,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good ones, lots of good ones.
Yeah.
And I kind of started circling the ones that I felt like were really engaged and paid attention and asked good questions, and started with one, then two, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7. Really, really good. So that's really good news.
Good. So you think they were like super engaged?
They were super engaged. So I don't know if I did it right, but there's 6 people at the top, 6 top row, bottom row, and then there's 3 alternates, right? Left. I didn't really pay too much attention to alternates, which I probably should have, but so at the top row, I'm not gonna like totally describe them, but maybe I'll like maybe their attitude a little bit. The juror number 1 in my mind, like at the top row from left to right, older man. He was taking notes, paying attention. Number 2 was a woman. She didn't take notes, didn't seem super engaged, just kind of sit there. Number 3, she was an older one. I kind of felt bad for her. I don't know. I could tell that she's older and probably doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Short hair, glasses, kind of. Number 4 is, I think it's her foreman. I don't know. We'll see. He is very engaged, writing notes. He's sitting up straight, like just you can just tell he is all in it.
Good.
I did not see him stopping to take notes. Like he kept taking notes the whole time. So there are like last 3 men at the top row, and so and then there's 2 older gentlemen next to him. I kind of feel like probably have created some friendship or something. So they were talking and smiling, which was good.
Yeah.
So I liked 4, 5, 6, and then it's so cute on the bottom row. There's 7 and 8. Yeah, you can tell those 2 ladies. They are besties.
Really?
Darker hair. Yeah, they are just like they've known each other since high school for sure.
Oh boy. Okay. I hope
Yeah,
that's good.
they were good. It is a good thing. I think they were rolling eyes at McClellan, so I like that.
Good.
There was another older woman with like a bob haircut, and she just was not like, I think I saw her falling asleep once.
Uh-oh.
And number 10 is another, like a number 4 and number 10, in my opinion, are the best 2 jurors. She's a beautiful young lady. You can tell she's very engaged, very smart. Also, just paid attention, engaged, didn't really chit chat with anybody, but paid very close attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And there's 11, 12. Nothing. An older woman and an older man, but nothing. Nothing. I didn't really make notes about them. So the afternoon, so I'm kind of making notes as I'm sitting there waiting. Nick does not socialize. He looked kind of angry, wasn't very, he just sitting at the table. So there, on the left by himself, does not socialize at all, just sitting there in front of his computer and just very intense look in his eyes and seemed angry. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Augur, Miss Ajay. I'm sorry, Ajay. I keep wanting, like, my eyes do not want to say Augur. She was awesome. She was so friendly and engaged with all the bailiffs.
Good.
Mr. Yoder was the guard who was by the front door, and she was like joking with him and all the guards, and she was kind of like, like a soul of the room, a courtroom.
Ajay was?
Ajay, yeah.
Aw.
She was just like the, I don't know, like I said, like a soul of the room. Like, she was working the room. She was
Good energy.
awesome. Good energy. You can tell she felt good. Yeah, it was awesome to see her like working the room. It's funny. Richard Allen was sitting, so Jerry Holman was at the end on the right side of the prosecution table, and Rick was on the left side of the defense table. So they were sitting really, really close to each other. Kind of felt that.
God.
Yeah, they were like, super, super close.
Yeah.
He had, Rick had like a pinkish purplish shirt,
Nice.
tucked in, really not, he looked good.
Good.
When he walked in, I saw a big sigh, so I could probably tell that he had a rough morning, maybe.
Yeah.
Big sigh, went to the table. Kathy was chatting with reporters, very friendly. So first row is all reporters, and they were turning around and chatting with her.
Yeah.
So it was good. She was smiling by the time she came back from lunch. I could tell that she felt better about whatever morning was. And all the reporters were turning around to see her, and she was, super, super friendly with them, chatting and all that. Judge walked in, and the only note I have is her nose is very high up.
Nice.
I got to meet Rick. Let's see, Delphi After Dark. I got to see him today. Got to meet him today, just
awesome.
a little bit. Yeah, nose very high up. I don't know if it means I don't know. Saw Libby's mom. She was not sitting by Kelsey. I don't know if it. I don't know anything about the family. I don't know the family dynamic, but she was not sitting by Kelsey or Patty. I mean, I didn't even see them interact much. I don't know if it means anything or not, but
but Libby's mom was there.
Yes, Libby's mom was there.
Good.
Beautiful, long, red hair, straight. I could tell that she lost a lot of weight.
Really? Okay. Oh, was that Abby or Libby?
Libby's mom.
Libby's mom.
I think it was Libby's mom, right? She had long red hair, like light, like a blondish red hair. And then there was another. Yeah, I felt like I think. No, wait. Maybe it was Abby.
Abby's mom Anna has like a redder hair, maybe, and Libby's mom is like a
long,
short kind of blonde.
Okay. So maybe it was Abby's mom then. Long. It was straightened, long.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Anna.
That's Anna. Okay.
Okay, good.
So I don't know if I thought. Yeah, she was there. Okay, I see. That's right. It's Abby's mom. Okay. So they bringing back. So I could tell right away that Dr. Wallace is going to be testifying because she came in and was sitting with the prosecutor table. I chatted a little bit about with Hidden True Crime, and there were some other ladies. So they kind of told me a little bit about the morning, especially about the van. I don't know if it was said white. Did they say white van or just the van?
They said white.
White one.
The news is reporting white van.
White. Okay. They just said van, but we'll see. So Brett she went back on the stand, and I think they went to lunch during cross-examination. So Rosie talking about how Richard Allen's circumstances were very unusual, and she kind of sure. So she and like I said, Andrea probably going to give us much better notes, but my observations of her, I don't want to say much live, but concerning to me if she's a therapist. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, I did not see any empathy. I did not see any care. She was putting on the show. You could tell. I could tell she was nervous.
Yeah.
Was very irritated by Mr. Brad. Rosie, you can tell that she's just like, she's,
She doesn't like him
doesn't like,
questions,
yeah,
probably.
yes, and did not like it at all. She made a lot of faces. She's, at some point, she was sitting at like this, like leaning
nice.
on the judge's desk.
Love that.
I don't know, not common. And a lot of like, I don't, if you say so. Like there was a lot of that, like super sarcastic,
Ugh.
not in a good way. I don't know. I didn't see her. Just like I heard about her, I've seen her pictures, but I expected to see like a therapist, substance, right? Somebody who is caring, empathetic, especially in prison, right?
Yeah.
It's, a mom and a daughter. It was such a cute couple. Were sitting next to me, and the daughter is a nurse, and she said, "Oh my goodness, I can't imagine her being a nurse, let alone
a therapist."
A therapist. Yes.
DB says she's a reptile.
Yep. Just just cold, but she knew how to put on a smile, and but there's just not a lot of emotions. So it was a little disappointing.
Right.
So unusual circumstances he was there under, sure. No criminal history. She said yes, but
they were allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, and then she said yes, and Dina, objection. So there was a lot of objections.
By the state?
It was by the state. Yes, by the state. There was a lot of objection. And what's interesting, it's exactly what we hear others tell a lot, right? Noticed a couple times where the judge was like looking at Miss Diener, like intently looking at her, like prompting her, maybe, prodding her, like, "Hey, are you gonna object?"
Gosh.
Long kind of look, intense
of course.
look. And then so Brad was asking her something about, like, do you see, is it common in your experience with Westfield, like for people, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And she objected, and Judge Gold was like, what's your objection? What's the basis for your objection? Well, she, it has nothing to do with Richard Allen. She's talking about other people. Okay, sustained. But then when Brad, and I'm sure he did it just because, like it wasn't even something, on the redirect, he objected, and he's like, well, Your Honor, she can talk, it has nothing to do with Rick, and she cannot be testifying about her experience with other people. And she's like, overruled, like exactly same.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like the same questions.
So it's not balanced how she's objecting, overruling and sustaining.
No, not at all. Not at all. And she also doesn't seem to care much.
Yeah.
Doesn't even, like, I don't even think there's a thought that doesn't look good. It's not a good look. Or I don't even know if it crosses her mind. Which was, it was I don't know. It was sad to see that part. It was like, doesn't even, like, you can just tell there's nothing that registers in her mind. Like, I just did it for, I just sustained the objection, and I just overruled for exactly the same reasons. And there's nothing. So
yeah, like Andrea was saying last night, how it's like there's no empathy or anything from anyone that is
anyone. Like reptiles is the best way to describe it. There's coldness, like you can just, like, the cold wet skin. No, I don't know how to even, I don't know. It was just strange. All of them on the left it's such a big difference. And I wonder if people that are on the opposite side, right? I think in the last couple of days, if I was somewhere on the fence, even though I was on the right side of the fence, but I was still kind of close to the fence. I wanted to see after the last couple of days, I'm just way over on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
And so like everybody I don't know if it's a lack of empathy. I don't know. It's like, to me, true crime has always been fascinating in terms of psychology, right? Why people
Sure.
do things they do, but it goes even further. It's like just human decency, right? Human care for another human being, regardless of, the victim or victim's family, or, an accused, especially someone who it's very obvious that he is innocent, in my opinion. Again, everybody has the right to their opinion, and I reserve the right to have mine, right? But it's what separates is like this human, I don't know, empathy, care, I don't know. Goal has a lot of like this. She just sits like this, like her nose is always high, right? And just the look. There's so much narcissism, I guess is the best way.
Yeah.
No, she's unafraid of anything. She's right, and she's not afraid. No, nobody's gonna touch her. She's gonna be right. Nobody's gonna question her. Nobody's gonna overrule. Doesn't even faze her.
Yeah.
Doesn't even cross her mind.
Sad.
Not even playing for the. But anyway, the day got better as we went on.
Good.
So Mr. Rosie was talking about the orientation process for the defendant. For the defendants, like, do you have to go through orientation, like, to learn about politics of prison? And Dina said, like, can I please, whatever, would I, or right, like, question or whatever. Have you ever attended one of the orientations? No. Okay, so objection sustained. She does not have the right experience, whatever. Talk about it. Yeah. And Brad said, did Richard Allen get orientation? And she said, and I just put not audible, like she said something very, very
quiet.
Yeah.
Weird.
Tough place to be. Was it it's a tough place to live. She's like, whatever. She couldn't even agree that it was a tough place to live. That was like, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe she should try. Maybe she should give it a week.
Yeah. So I made a note because it was really like, I just put 3 exclamation points. They were talking about Rick being transported to like meet with her, because she would meet with him outside the cell, but then if they ever had any kind of like one-on-one meetings, right, he would be transferred, all shackled, handcuffed with the box, to that cage, infamous cage, right?
Right.
And then she would be sitting somewhere pretty far away from him, and they'll be able to talk. And like, was he shackled during your therapy sessions? And she said once he's in the cage, shackles were removed, and she chuckled.
Why?
She laughed. I don't know. Well, whilst he was in the cage, those shackles were removed at times. She chuckled that his shackles were removed. Like, maybe like, oh no, he wasn't always in shackles. Like, shackles were removed while, he's in the cage. And it was funny to her. That was funny to her. I just couldn't believe it. And then Brad just like, he said something to her, and I just put Walla hates life right now.
Nice.
He jumped at, like, said something. I can't remember, but I just remember like she was just squirming in her seat. And I said, why juror number 3 is even there? Juror 7 and 8 are besties. Rosie hates Dina. Dina hates Rosie. So, man, you can see the animosity between them. It was something to see. I cannot believe we're not watching this trial again. to see that, there's that animosity between them, but they're trying to be nice to each other. You're welcome. Like, can I
Yeah.
please see it? Yes, here, you're welcome. But you can see, like, it's just venom in her eyes. Ugh.
Wow. And that's Stacy Diener and Brad.
Stacy Diener, yeah.
Wow.
Stacy Diener and Brad. Wow, that was just flying. I felt like I don't know.
Yeah.
Goal, so much narcissism.
Yep.
Okay. Andy. He was so Rosie was doing cross-examination at the time, and Andy was sitting on his laptop, and his laptop was facing the audience, the whole, and he was scrolling. There's pictures of the bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, very quickly, but it was like he was getting ready maybe for
Mm-hmm.
the next witness. Wallace said that Richard Allen was consistently being called child killer throughout his stay.
Mm-hmm.
She objected, and I said, Diener is a bitch. I'm sorry. I probably should not be doing
Diener
this.
objected to them talking about him being called child killer?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Consistently. Yeah. And this is where I said, go looking at prosecution. Like, why are you not, what the heck? Why you're not objecting?
Yeah, like prompting them.
Prompting them, right. And then she objected to that child killer. Weird. Some of it was not really fun to listen to. You can tell Walla does not want to be here. Nick big mad for some reason.
Nick big mad for some reason. I love that.
5. Well, some of this, what I really, I think what's good, what came out of her testimony, that he started this, behavior in early April, and it was after defense attorneys visited
Yes.
Rick. He received his and reviewed discovery.
Okay.
4/5/23. Some of the notes, some notes were from like self-reported, some she took, and some were from suicide companions. 4/5/23. Suicidal ideations, hallucinations, throwing away his belongings.
Okay. So these are Walla's notes. So suicidal ideations, hallucinations. She said hallucinations.
Yes, they were the note. That was her notes. She was reading from her notes from 4/5.
Oh, she had her notes. Okay.
Yeah.
From 4/5.
Well, it was like Brad gave her, whatever.
Yeah.
It was on the laptop.
Yep.
4/13/23. Did you discover Mr. Allen had a grave disability?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, she did.
Brad prompted. So, did it prompt a discussion about a shot? She said yes.
Yep.
4/20. Assessment was done. Incontinence issues got worse.
Incontinence? Okay.
Incontinence issues got worse.
Yep.
5/1/23. Depressed and paranoid. 5/18/23. It says second involuntary injection of Haldol, but I don't know. Maybe I missed when was the first one. Maybe 4/20. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one. There was one in April.
Yeah.
And then he had another one in May.
Yeah. 5/18 was a second injection, also involuntary. Supposed to last for 30 days, which is strange. Is it? Like, how does it last 30 days?
Very, very, very strong antipsychotic.
Yeah.
And it can.
So it lasts for 30 days?
Yeah. It's like a long-acting one. So, sometimes, I think even in some other countries, they actually have approved, like, it's I don't know if it's right or wrong, but they'll give, like, people with schizophrenia who maybe are experiencing homelessness a lot of times are medicated. They'll get like 30-day an injection that lasts like 30 days.
Maybe like release. You know, what is it like?
Yeah, it's like a slow. Yeah.
Slow
Yeah.
release or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that was on 5/18 of 23, May
Okay.
18th, 5/26/23. They received patient complaint. I don't know if it came from Rick or I don't know, patient complaint. 2 black eyes, which
What date
they
was that?
5/26/23, May 26th.
Okay. 2 black eyes.
2 black eyes, self-harm. Rosie asked if the Haldol was not working, and she said, I don't know. I was not in, like she provided therapeutic services,
Right.
and Dr. Martin, I think,
Yeah.
provided medications.
Yeah. That makes sense.
6/15/23. This was a suicide companion report. Another some kind of, they didn't talk about exactly what was that report, but it prompted
6:15.
6/15. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
But it prompted another shot, involuntary, and it was, so when Brad asked if like it's supposed to be 30 days in between, it wasn't exactly 30 days. And she said,
6:15 is the day of the safekeeping hearing.
really? Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I just feel like that's important.
That is, wow. So yeah, 6/15, it was another Haldol involuntary, and he asked her why it hasn't been 30 days yet. She's like, oh, it was one of those, it was an emergency. It wasn't monthly, it was emergency,
Emergent.
additional.
On 6:15. Interesting. I wonder why.
I don't know.
That's weird.
And that 2 black eyes as self-harm, I don't know, it didn't sit well with me.
Yeah. Well, they were saying that he was banging his head on his.
Yeah, so it could have been, I don't know.
Yeah. That's very interesting that they're giving him, shots of Haldol after the safekeeping hearing. Yeah, he probably.
Right. Or maybe
was probably
before,
very
because
stressed.
he was coming to the end of that 30 days, right? And they
Maybe,
wanted him to be docile for the hearing. I
Right.
don't know. 7/26, patient complaints. Bulging eyes out of his head. Eyes bulging out of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Possible depression.
Yeah.
8/16, that was a suicide companion report. Eyes still bulging.
This is August. So Nick's saying, oh, he's
Yeah.
better by.
8/16, eyes still bulging.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So in
Then
August.
somehow, still bulging. And there was a by suicide. And I'm sure Andrea will have a lot more notes. I mean, she was writing, that woman, she is a machine. I don't know how she does it.
No, these are great, Oksana. This is really, I really like this perspective because we
like
don't
little.
often get it. At least not so detailed. At least like the jury and what's going on around in the courtroom.
I didn't go I didn't do like writing word for word. I just kind of like what I got out of that little section.
Yeah.
At that moment, I wrote R.A. smiled at Kat, turned around and smiled at her.
At Kathy?
At Kathy, yeah.
Mm.
At his bride, I said. So she talked about his weight, like first recorded weight and height was 11/8/2022.
Mm-hmm.
He was 5'5" and 178, I believe. I wrote 173 on 178, but I think it sounded like 170, but it could be 173 on 178.
Mm-hmm.
Rick's behavior changed after meeting with attorneys and seeing Discovery.
This is per Walla?
Yes, that's Rosie asking her. But you don't know what we talked about. You don't know what we showed him. You don't know what it's your pure speculation, correct? Yes, that's correct. She usually met with Rick at the cell door. And she's like, well, did you meet with him? How often did you meet with him? How often? It happened, And how long was it? Oh, as long as, 10, 20, 30 minutes. as long as he wanted, as long as he needed. 10, 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, so she had the time to meet with him that often for that long.
10, 20, 30. But again, there was like, he really wanted to meet. Like, you could say it with empathy, right?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, 10, whatever he wanted. Dr. Martin at that time, but rounds she did not every day. So she wanted to say that she met with him a lot, but Brad kept going to, like, sometimes you had to see 40, 50 offenders per day, and even Dr. Martin had to come and help you with your backlog, and she agreed.
Right.
Mostly rounds she was doing at that time record keeping, so they went into record keeping, and that was like a content. Yeah, it was. Do you agree that you destroyed your notes, and it was not a part of your, like, policy and procedures? You did not follow? And she said, I thought I was. Later on, I was, learned that, it's in the book, basically, of the rules, but we all did it. I would take the notes, handwritten notes.
Yeah.
I would go to my office, and I would log it into computer and destroy the notes. Sometimes it took days before she could enter those notes in her computer. And Brad had a great couple. He's like, so why did you destroy your notes? Well, for privacy purposes. I cared about Rick's privacy. Okay.
Sure.
He is his camera in his cell 24/7, right? Lights are on 24/7. He's being transported in the van when he goes to court with the 5 people in the camera, and even he goes to the bathroom with the camera. He goes to his rec. He constantly has camera, but your notes really gave him his private.
Yeah.
So Rosie was talking something about previous hearing about document. Now I said, wow, Walla being super combative. I'm sure Andrea took great notes for that. And then that's what she said. Okay, if you say, it was very like, if you say so.
If you say so. On
his depressive. Yeah. Okay. On the stand. Yeah. Okay. If you say so. Like that. She testified to something.
God.
Would you like to see? She's like, no. Okay. If you say so. Like, it was so.
Jesus.
I felt like, yeah, like a teenager child. They were talking about his depressive disorder, that it's up and down, in and out. Is it true? Yes. And it can depend on triggers, it can get better and can get worse. It can be up and down depending on the trigger. She said yes. Many different triggers. Yeah, I suppose. Like fighting with ants for your food, right? That was
Rosie.
That was Rosie. Yeah, many different triggers. It could be another inmate. It could be a call with the wife. It could be a visit with attorneys, or it could be fighting with ants for your food.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
So MMD and functional impairment. So I guess he was diagnosed or put under the category of MMD, which is
major
depressive disorder. Major, yeah. Plus functional impairment. So he was a little bit different compared to all the other patients or inmates because he had MMD and functional impairment.
Yeah, so his was severe to the point where it impaired his functioning. That's significant. Yeah.
And then he went into that in our country and across the world, the practice is not to isolate for more than 30 days. Yes. Long-term causes major issues.
Yep.
And at this point, this is Walla has her fist under her cheek on Judge Goals.
Nice.
Like literally.
Like a child.
Like a child.
Like a teenager being scolded.
Being scolded for torturing a man. Did it have negative effect on Rick Allen? And I said, and then my note says, Dina objects bigly.
Wow.
Like loud. Yeah. I don't know why.
I love that.
Dina objected bigly. It was bigly. Yeah.
Good.
I don't know why. did it have negative effect on Rick Allen if he was in isolation, especially being with MMD, right, and impairment disorder? What?
Yep.
And can't talk about it.
And Judge Gold sustained that?
Yep.
Why? Sorry. Like, ugh.
I
What?
don't know.
She's literally the psychologist. That is her job to talk about how that would impact his mental health. Jesus.
Well, maybe she didn't have any other inmates who
Yeah.
were in solitary confinement for that long, so maybe she didn't know.
Right.
And then so April, May, and June of 2023,
Yeah.
that he went through major psychotic processes, major different processes, psychosis and other psychotic processes.
Okay. Can you repeat that? When was that?
April, May, and June of 2023.
Okay. April, May, and June 2023. Major psychotic.
Major psychotic processes, including psychosis.
Okay. Wow.
If it was March, it was late March, but to her recollection, it was April, May, and June.
Okay. Well, I have my opinion about that. I think that he was probably psychotic in March too, but.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Mr. Rosie goes, Miss Dina asked you about faking or fanning. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, yes, I remember. Did you know, like, there are tests that can aid you as a professional therapist to answer this question, your, inquiry, whether it is your patient is fanning, or
malingering.
Malingering, whatever.
Yes.
She said, we didn't have those tests.
Oh my God. Yes,
we do not have those accessible.
That's insane. She can just Google one, and I can Google one and pull one up right now. That's crazy.
We did not have those. And Brad, he raised his voice. He's like, but those tests are available whether you had them or not.
Yes.
But those tests are available. He could have been tested.
Yes.
I suppose.
She said. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Redirect. Miss Dina was talking about that Dr. Martin was the one who was in charge of medication, and Dr. Walla was just therapeutic services. With handwritten notes, did you type in your notes, all your handwritten notes, and then shred them? She said, yes, I've always done that. But yes, she acknowledged somewhere very quietly, maybe it's not a part of the policy. But she didn't know. Everybody, we've always done it this way, basically. And my last note on this page is, I don't like Walla.
Same.
Okay. Yes and no. Very uncommon. Okay, true crime. Very uncomfortable. So Brad goes in again, and very uncomfortable. He started, because Dina brought it up again. Do you follow true crime? You always follow, is it your personal, it's your hobby, right? You've always liked true crime. Yes, I always read true crime. I, follow certain podcasts, and it's always been, blah, 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 basically nothing burger. And so when Brad started talking about it, she became very uncomfortable, squirming in her chair, just kind of like crossing her arms. Her supervisor was not concerned with her following true crime, and he or she, that she was following, true crime, including this case.
Yeah.
And she just goes in the square. I was able to separate. It did not affect my profession.
Wow.
I was able to separate. She did share. Did you share information with Rick Allen about podcasters?
Nice.
And she said she did. Why did she do it? I wanted him to maintain hope.
That makes me so mad.
It seems like she's putting on the show.
Yeah.
I just wanted him to maintain.
Sure.
Changes began in early April again. I said, oh, Wally's feisty with Brad. Oh, it was about one of the cases. So one time at work. So are you saying that you only did it, for personal, whatever use
Mhm.
or whatever, personal, like at home or whatever. But did you look up another case that's connected to this case and talk to coworkers about it? Dina objected. Brad said, well, it's connected to this case. And actually, Gold did not sustain that objection. Let him talk about it.
Oh, so he was allowed to talk about it.
He was allowed to talk about it. Maybe it was the one that was overruled. But she even didn't say overrule. She just said, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. That probably pained her.
Yeah. She just cannot have it, and like overruled. I don't think she has it in her. Just go ahead. And not even at him. Like she turned to her and like, go ahead.
Right.
So she was looking up which Keegan Klein case, I can only assume, right?
Yep.
And talked with coworkers about it.
Yeah.
And when she said, wasn't it for personal interest? And she couldn't agree that 100% it was for personal interest.
What clinical professional business did she have looking up someone who's not her patient if it wasn't
I don't
for?
know.
Oh my God.
And then he asked her about going to the bridge. She did go to the bridge because it was on the way, and she got she kind of, her face got kind of red a little bit, very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did. It was just on the way. How was it on the way? I don't know. But anyway, it was on the way. Yeah. Really cool. Next moment was really cool. It was really, oh, I love this. It was short, but it was so good. So
Good.
Mr. Stephen Mullen is called to the stand. Nick, it's the first time I got to see him in action. Man, he is good. I have to tell, he's loud.
Yep.
He's a good attorney, I can tell, but he is I don't know, loud. He made he wants to take up the whole entire room. He walks, across the whole well, he just takes up the whole entire room.
It's very gregarious.
Yes, very gregarious. He's like, Mr. Mullen, the other day, but by the way, it's going to bring up an interesting point. We, jury saw screenshots. We entered screenshots of the Hoosier, hardware store, the video, screenshots from the video of Mr. Allen's car, right? Yes, we did. By the way, so far, from what I understand, and I think Bob said the same thing today, only screenshots so far were entered into evidence.
Wow.
They have not seen the video.
Wow, that's interesting. Of the Hoosier Harvest store?
Yeah, of the Rick's car, right?
Wow.
So, Mr. Mullen, after the jury had a question for you last time about whether you ran BMV records or not, what did you do? We went back and we ran Carroll County and surrounding areas reports. He's just so when jury had the question, we went and we ran the records for 2016 and 2017 registration years. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And he was just he was loving this.
He was so
you can
proud.
Just tell. He was so proud. He was dancing on that well. How many entries did you find? 31 entries. And some of them were duplicate, so total was 18 entries of SE Black Ford Focus, and only 8. Oh, how many were SE? Whatever the SE, I don't know, boys, whatever the model, or there's titanium and there's SE, whatever. There was only 8 in Carroll County. And how many were registered in Carroll? Well, total 8. and only one registered in Carroll County. And whose car was it? Richard Allen. No more, you know, basically no more questions about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he sat down. He's just so happy with himself. He was just, he was like walking on air.
Uh-huh.
But Miss Auger was pretty awesome. So can you tell? And she walked out kind of matching that energy, but just in a very feminine, very like she just worked that room perfectly. I mean, it was beautiful. It was
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Can you please tell me how many additional vehicles if you only ran SE, right? But there's additional models that look just like that, and you cannot distinguish between and from from the years between 2011 and 2017, right? He's like, yeah, yeah, I think Liz. He's like, don't you? And he's like, no, not with me. And then Nick's like, like you can see that he's like starting to
Getting ready to object.
right? You can just tell, like he is not happy. Sorry, I think my earpod died. Can you hear
That's
me?
okay. Yeah, I've
Okay.
got you.
So it turns out there's 65 additional vehicles. Is that correct, Mr. Mullen? Is that correct? And then Nick, objection, we may want to take a break and count, because she said 65 to 70. It's either 65 or 73. I wouldn't know. Yeah, but yeah, you can tell. Can you tell from that video if it was, it's harder to hear. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let me
Yep.
try another. Let me see if I can do this. One of them. Is there some kind of, it's super windy here too.
I can still hear you. It's just a little quieter.
Yeah. I don't know why. Okay, I'll try to be louder.
You're good.
Okay, so 65 to 73 additional vehicles. That could be that, right? You couldn't tell the difference. You don't know from the video if it's SE or titanium. Also, and he's like, yeah, correct. And Nick was like, well, we can take a break and actually count, because I don't think it's 73. I was loving it. I was loving it. Guilty. I probably should not have enjoyed it as much as I did, but I did. I'm sorry. Plus, last question was, Miss and Auger, she does it in such a, Mr. Mullen, can you please tell me if the rims and the wheels and rims on Mr. Allen's car, did they come standard? With his make and model and the year? And he's like, yeah, you can just choose it from options when you choose the car.
Oh my God, they had a My Cousin Vinny moment.
That was a complete fumble. Fumble. I mean, that was fumble, big time. I mean, it was very short. It was like 10 minutes, but it was glorious. Amazing. It was amazing. I loved it. And then they called Brad Weber to the stand.
Oh God.
Guys, I've never seen his picture. I've never seen him. I was not ready for it. So at first I was like, well, maybe I'm just, maybe he's nervous. He reminded me, and I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I don't know. I'm not a mental health professional. He reminded me someone with potential mental health issues. No disrespect. Very, the best way, has anyone seen Sling Blade?
Anyone in the chat
Mustard, biscuits, mustard, I reckon. Mustard, biscuits, something. Yeah, whoever saw Sling Blade, you'll know what I'm talking about. Oh, look it up. Like, Google it. It's exactly, except for like a little bit curlier. Biscuits, like that. I love him. that not Weber. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was It was a disturbing, very, 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 very disturbing few minutes. It
Really?
was short, it was very, very disturbing. And I realized Brett Weber is the guy who lives like on that private drive, right? Across from the murder scene. Why they brought him why do you guys think they brought him?
Well, I imagine it's to corroborate some part of Rick's alleged confession.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. So he worked for Subaru, 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. usually.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hold it closer. And that morning, that Monday, he has a clock in, clock out. You know, they actually got it. They actually went and got the clock in and clock out piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
He clocked in at 5:40 a.m. and clocked out at 2:02 p.m.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Takes about 20 to 25 minutes to get home, and he had a white van.
Mm-hmm.
On direct, he was strange, but
Yeah.
oh, look, by the way, there's a Delphi. I'll show you a Delphi truck.
Oh God.
Wow.
Hope everybody's okay in Delphi.
Yeah. Okay. Had a white van. So on direct, he was strange, very, very, very unsettling.
Uh-huh.
But okay. So you got home, did you go, what time did you get? Takes 20, 25 minutes after 2:20. So basically he got home around 2:27 at the latest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Nick sits down, and then Mr. Baldwin, very quietly, without any gregarious, any kind of like, show tactics or anything like that. He's like, Mr. Weber, did you travel that weekend?
Oh shit.
And he's like, no, I didn't. No, it's a lie. It's a lie. That's not correct. Nick calls him, like they go. That's first of all, it's completely bizarre experience to watch. Like there's this gigantic TV. She turns on this white noise. They're just super loud, and they all go and stand like children behind the TV. Like, what can we do? It's so loud. That white noise is so loud, and they all go and stand behind the TV. The judge and all attorneys hiding behind the TV.
Oh my
Between
God.
the window. It's just like, okay, let's go. We're going to.
Oh my God. Why? It's so weird.
And the white noise is so loud, and they go and hide behind the TV like little huddle, and then come out.
Oh my God.
So while they were hiding behind the TV, Mr. Weber starts really bizarre behavior. He starts staring at the jury and like staring, like not breaking his like glare,
Uh-huh.
licking his lips,
Ew.
doing bizarre behavior.
Really?
Very.
Did the jury react?
You can see jurors starting like feeling very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You can tell they were all like, they don't want to look at him. They kind of look at each other, like eyes big, like, I mean, they were uncomfortable. And that was after Nick showed the map, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he lived. I'm just thinking, I don't know if I was on that jury, right? He looks, I don't know, I've never seen him. But then again, 90% of Indiana could probably be the bridge guy. But to me, it looks way more probable for Mr. Weber to be the bridge guy, especially, and he has curly, I don't know, 7 years ago how much he doesn't have any hair, but it's kind of curly.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of curly. And he has like a rounder face, like, I could see how his features could be considered. He's not a bad looking guy, but his behavior, there's something wrong with that man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so when they come back, and so he hands him, Andy hands him some paper to look at. You testified to law enforcement that you were traveling. Oh, no, that you, after work, you went to work on some ATM machines right after work. It's not true. No, it's not true. It's a lie. And he started like freaking out on the stand.
What?
It's not true. It's a lie.
Sit down, I'll make you some biscuits and gravy.
Mustard's good on them to me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so that's our
Mustard.
Brad Weber.
Yes. I reckon. Like something. Whew. Gave me like chill. Everyone, like I was looking at, and it, like everybody felt very uneasy immediately.
Yeah.
It was awful. So of course Nick objects like a little girl, right? And of course it gets sustained. And he's like, oh, no problem, we'll bring him back. And Mr. Weber leaves with this paper that he gave him. He started like, he was so discombobulated that she like tried to go to the door where the jury goes. And then kind of like went across, kind of like in the well and like very close to the jury. They kind of like backed up a little bit. And then he left.
What did he hand him?
So jury left, and then there was for a minute, like there was some kind of something happening, like jury left. And so it was 4 o'clock, and they said, there's about 2 hours of videos and then cross-examination, direct and cross-examination tomorrow morning. So she didn't want to start today, which is probably a good idea. So we're going to let you go early. It was around 4 o'clock. And so jury leaves after that bizarre, whatever, Weber moment. And then bailiff comes back and wants to talk to the judge. And the judge and bailiff kind of standing by the door for a few minutes. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like they were disturbed.
Right.
I could tell that the jury it was super bizarre. I don't know how everybody, because I left and didn't really talk much with anybody. So I don't know the reaction, just with Andrea a little bit. But what I do know that his gun was not, do you guys remember his bullet from his gun? Or his gun was not excluded.
Right.
And he, to me, looked, again, I mean, it could be anybody, but not, I mean, I think that guy is much taller, if you ask me, but he looked very much like I would actually say, like, maybe even the first bridge, I don't know, maybe he looked younger at that time, but his curly hair. Yeah. And I think that's what jury, I mean, they were like looking at each other and like almost whispering.
Yeah.
It was a bizarre moment. He's
scary.
He was very scary.
Oksana, do you know that in like 2 years ago, he held 2 women at gunpoint on his property because they
No.
He's been known to do that. Like when people come onto his property, he'll basically take them hostage. It's not funny, but he's very scary.
What?
He's very scary.
Wow. He was, I mean, it was right across from the murder scene.
Yep.
But supposedly somehow, and again, okay, I might be biased, right? Maybe. But Rick sees a van, somebody coming home. So instead of raping them, he decides to
go across the creek.
Kill them. Go across the creek in front of his house, basically, right?
Right, and you could see the crime scene from the Weber house.
Right. So that was better. That was better.
Do you think that, so what was like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just think I don't know, there's something very suspicious about him getting so rattled.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did they hand him? Because I know Criminal Network was in here saying that they handed him a subpoena to come back.
Could be. Maybe I thought it was because Andy was talking about. Oh, maybe it was a subpoena. I thought it was the police report because said you told and Andy was he knows how to deal with people. He's brilliant.
Wow.
He was so quiet. Didn't you tell law enforcement that after work you went to work on some ATM machines? No, I didn't. It's a lie. No, I didn't. I know I didn't. And then they gave him the paper. So if it's subpoena, it's even better.
Wow.
And I was leaving. I was like, and I said something to Miss Auger. It was, and just like something about like cross-examination or something, when we bring him back or something. I don't know. But okay, even better, subpoena by Andy. He handled it like, I don't know. He is so talented.
Andy is?
Talented. Andy. Yeah, I mean, both of them are. I have so much respect for them after seeing them in court like that. Like I've seen them in the pretrial hearings, but never like all three of them. I mean, it was just amazing. Sorry, I'm charging my phone.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Last thing I'm gonna tell you. So go down, and there's Noe, his name is, right? Rick. And Noe's like girlfriend, I don't know, or sister, and they're holding the poster like about video cameras. No video camera, something. So they're protesting.
Oh, what are they protesting for public access?
Yeah, for public access.
Good
and no
for
cameras.
Noe.
Yeah.
Good
They
for
were sitting
them.
there, poster, and like no cameras, no public, something. It was awesome.
Hell yeah.
He's like, it's the best we could do, and then I guess the even TV station interviewed them. And
oh, that's really good. Good for them.
It was really good. I know. I thought it was awesome. They painted it on cardboard. It was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful.
I'm about to put up a picture of our Mr. Brad Weber here. Hold on. This is just the first one. This is his Facebook picture. So this is the first one that I came upon.
Suspenders, like a dirty T-shirt, dirty jeans, suspenders. It was
in court.
Yeah.
Oh God! It's like he wants to be the bridge guy.
Ooh.
That's so weird. It's almost like these people. It's almost like they kind of. Okay, I don't know. This might not sound accurate, but it's almost like they want to be suspected.
Yeah.
There he is. Do you see him?
He's a little bit older now, I could tell, but yeah, his smile. I mean, it's very eerie. Like it's very. You can tell there's something. He moved like it's just there's something not right.
Yeah.
And he was staring at the jury and like licking his lips and like complete like just stare, like blank stare.
That makes me so uncomfortable. So how did you kind of feel like the day ended? Was there any bombshells for like either side?
I think that was a bombshell. I think because jury got I could tell that Nick didn't like how it ended.
Oh, okay.
Which was good. I mean, because I don't think they expected Mr. Weber act like that. Nobody expected.
Really?
So they kind of got him off that's why Nick objected. He wanted to get him off the stand.
Right.
That's what I think.
Okay. That makes sense. That's very weird.
He wanted to get him off the stand. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. It was no bombshells. I just know tomorrow morning they're gonna have 2 hours. Yeah. That picture.
That's him.
I think he lost his I think I think his weight might be.
He
lost some weight. But he's very poofy, and especially, I mean, cut your hair or something, shave it, because he has like those kind of like almost like mine in the back, like dark, like curls in the back.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm pulling up another. It's very weird. He's a weird guy for sure.
He got very discombobulated
at the end.
Yeah. No, it's
Wow.
not true. It's a lie. No, it's not true. Well, and Andy was just so perfect, like just very soft spoken, kind of like even like lowered himself a little. He was like, "Didn't you tell law enforcement that after work you went to work on some ATM machines and you didn't go straight home?" That's a lie. It's not true. No. Biscuits.
God, why? That's so weird.
Why did they bring him? I mean, it's this van, but you know,
They're desperate. They're desperate for somebody to basically corroborate these ridiculous
it's
vague confessions.
not on video, not on audio. Whatever's coming tomorrow, I think is gonna be it.
That's their whole
2
thing.
hours for the whole thing. 2 hours of
Yeah.
video and audio. So they fumbled the car.
Yep.
They didn't even show the video. The jurors now have those like accordion like folders.
Yeah.
When he was in the car, they started pulling out the pictures of the cars. Of
Yeah.
the car. They didn't have any questions from Mr. Mullen. They did
Okay.
not have any questions from Mr. Weber at all. They were like,
They were like, get him out of here.
God. They had a lot of questions from Miss Walla. I didn't write them down. They were like spitfiring. I'm sure Andrea will have them.
Yeah.
I'm very, very interested to see what Miss Andrea has to say about Walla.
About today?
About today's, just overall, and specifically about Walla. I wonder, because I think, no, I don't think she liked him. I don't know. She is not. She's just not warm. There's no warmth.
Yeah.
A therapist should have warmth about them.
Right. Yeah, you would think so.
But yeah, Stephen Mullen with his SE or Message, like she handled it perfectly. Mr. Mullen, didn't like SE and Titan like all together like 65 to 73 registered for, you know, it was perfect. It was perfect. It was beautiful.
I wish that everybody could watch.
It was awesome. I know, we all should watch. We need to watch it. You know what's the most disgusting thing? You sit in that courtroom and there's 4 or 5 cameras. There's one at the very top, there's 2 next to her, and there's 2 kind of about, like there's 4 or 5. I saw at least 5 cameras, and they have those like black, either, I don't know, some kind of cover, like a plastic trash bag
over them,
covering all 5 of them. There's like 5 or 6. Yeah,
so ridiculous.
There's a lot of attorneys again in the back. There's 2 table, like had some attorneys there. I'm sure it was Miss Wallace. Something she said about like, did you get terminated or something? Well, it had to be investigated or something like that.
Yep.
But Mr. Brad Weber is just, I was I mean, I was speechless. I was like, so, I mean, I'm sure jury and everybody else in the room who's never seen him, I mean, we all had the girl next to me, she's like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm like, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Really?
Yeah.
So everybody was thinking this is the guy.
Okay. Let's see.
Is that what it felt like?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what Hammy sent me. Oh, it's Nancy Grace. Okay.
Oh.
God. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Let's do it.
She wants to see you react. Okay, let's see. We'll do it for Hammy. We'll do a live react for Hammy.
That's what Weber too. Oh, he lost a lot of weight now. That's him too, huh? By the way, I need to look up Miss Shakespeare. Heather, what's her name? Shakespeare. I wonder if it was like there was a lady sitting next to me that I'm mistaken for. I don't know. I think we have very different views. I
Yeah.
wonder if
I can't pull it up,
oh,
but I'll have to
can. Okay.
show it later.
All right. Do it later.
Yeah.
Heather, what's her name? Shakespeare, like the lady that did the documentary Shakespeare or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I need to look up her because I kind of have a feeling that I was sitting next to her, so we were talking. No. She was I think she was local, and I kind of felt like we were on the same page, but it turned out no. Like she's like, oh yeah, Weber. He's just, he's just gonna, he's just gonna say and because he confessed earlier today about the van, so he's just gonna confirm,
That he had a
And I
white
said,
van.
did you see what I see? They had a white van, but I'm like, did you see what I saw? Did you feel like it was not like it was something disturbing? She's like, and she thought I was talking about Rick Allen. She's like, well, he's a psychopath.
What? Who said
Who are
that?
you talking? Some lady was sitting next to me. Yeah, like I'm not like, yeah, like of course.
What a loser.
Something about like, yeah, she was not.
Gross.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah, the
Andrea
pool
goes
of
live.
Yes,
How far?
so we'll go
Do you
about
have
an
to
hour.
do you have a long drive, Oksana?
I have a long drive, but I'm gonna enjoy it.
Okay.
Oh, I got myself like a really awesome taco. There's an awesome Mexican place that smelled really good. So I'm gonna eat some tacos and I'm gonna drive and watch Andrea with you all.
Okay. That sounds great. Oksana,
Well,
we
thank
love
you.
you. Thank you
Oh,
so much for talking to us. No, go ahead.
last thing, I promise. I came down and there was Kathy, and it was the sweetest moment. That was the best part of my day.
Yeah.
I was like, Kathy, I just want to tell you, you don't know me, but I just want to tell you, there's a lot of people, a lot of us that support you, and we think you incredibly strong, and we're all, you inspire all of us. Just, stay
Good.
strong. I want you to know that. She's like, and she started crying, and she's like, no, I'm not strong. Why people keep saying that?
Oh.
And I said, no, you are an inspiration to many of us. I don't know how you're staying so strong. There's so many people that sent you, love and support, and we admire you. We don't know how you can stay so strong. And she's like, I just love my husband. We've been together for 34 years, and all those people think I'm a monster, but I'm not. I love him. I know he didn't do it, and I love him, and God gets me. And I was like, I'm crying, and she's crying. I was like, can I hug you? So we kind of hugged, and she's like, you have a beautiful hair. I'm like, you have a beautiful hair. Oh, it was.
Oh my God, now I'm
Yeah,
crying. We're
she's
probably
like,
all
I don't know,
on
I just
friends.
love him. Yeah, and she's like, I just love him. We've been together for 34 years, and I just know he didn't do it. He couldn't. And people just think I'm this monster, but I'm not. I just love him, and I know he didn't do it. And my heart was done.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I just said, stay strong. Stay strong. We're
Yeah.
like all of us are with you, and you have no idea how many people are behind you and support you, and we just inspire us. And she's like, oh my God. Like she was touched. So it was awesome.
Thank you for doing that and for saying that all of
No,
that.
thank you for letting me share this moment, because otherwise I'd be like stupid driving alone and remembering all this. So now I can share it with the community. So I love you
DB
guys.
wants to play this clip for us really quick because Hammy wants us
Okay. Some biscuits.
Yeah, you can play it, DB.
I can
here he goes.
Tell you from being in the courtroom, it gets much worse. In the last hours, we have heard testimony from a psychologist who saw
was there
Richard
today?
Allen practically every day behind bars. I heard her describe, and I saw Richard Allen's jaw just working. The worse it got, the worse it got. I am telling you, I would stay everything that I have ever done in court, everything I know about the law on this. Richard Allen is not insane. He did not have a psychotic break. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he is playing everybody. Will that include the jury? I can tell you.
Okay, thank you for that.
Listen, first of all, I've met so many people today that there was a whole family that came from South Bend, And she's like, we're in the fence. We don't know. We just like the story, and then there's two ladies next to me. And like, I looked at him and I started crying. She's like, those ladies and both sides, they're like, I wanted to see him for myself. And I know now he's innocent. You can just see, it's like, as soon as I saw him, I started crying. You can see a broken, scared man, not a monster.
Yeah.
Not a monster at all.
So people who actually see him, who are there in person, who aren't
First
Nancy
time.
Grace, being paid to be assholes, basically, he's not what they've tried to portray him as.
They might mistake, he's scared. You can tell he's still traumatized. He's not like, I saw him in May, like he was looking at the ceiling and I think he was on medicine or something.
Right.
He is not, and he's smiling, he's standing up, he's looking at the page. But there is a scared little, like a broken, scared person on the inside. He's traumatized, but there's no evilness in him.
Right, absolutely.
No evil, absolutely. Like the way he turns around and looks at Kathy and smiles at her.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. And then plus all the evidence, like I'm over the fence, and
there's no way.
There's no way.
No, there's no way. I hope the jury can also. Oh, sorry. I think the jury probably sees that too.
Yeah, I think so. There is that number 4, 5, 6, 4, number 4 and number 10. They're good people. There's a lot of good people. And I saw a lot that I need, especially after Mullen's testimony, like with this fumble. There's 3 guys at the top. I mean, they laughed and rolled their eyes.
At what?
Like when Stephen Mullen.
Oh yeah, when he got up there.
Yeah, with the cars,
Yeah,
they laughed.
Yeah. He's a joke.
Yeah.
So you think the jury is you're getting really good positive vibes from the jury?
I don't know if it's wishful thinking, but I did see it today. It was I think that was my goal for today, just to see see the jury. I really, really wanted to see the jury. Yeah. And I could go, it took me a minute, right, at first. But once I started seeing the notes and engagement and the kind of questions they asked and laughed at, the whole car situation.
Yeah.
And they asked, you'll see on Andrea's live, like how many questions they asked.
Yeah.
Walla and how she answered, you'll see.
Good.
I don't know. I mean, if I had to, like Andrea said, yes, I had to bet my money. Yeah. I would hope so.
Okay.
I think jury is on his side.
Good.
Yeah.
That makes me happy, obviously, but you know where I stand on everything. So
we'll see. And at the end of state case, right, in chief, we should be devastated right now, right? The state should look like state is winning all the way.
Right.
We should I can't wait for the defense to start. I don't feel it. I think defense has been winning, just like they promised, right? Winning since day one.
Yeah.
And that's not even defense case yet.
Right.
So. Okay.
They're failing bigly.
They are bigly. Yeah. Nikki is bigly mad. So. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you for.
I love you, Oksana.
To share this moment with you, and I'll go next week too. One day, at least one.
Okay. Well, I know Courtney and I were talking about trying to get out there, so if we do,
really? Oh my God! Please.
We'll have to coordinate. We're trying, but we'll let you know either way.
I'll be your
bodyguards.
Bodyguards. Yeah.
No one's gonna fuck with us.
No one's gonna fuck.
We love you so much, and I wanted to thank you for what you shared on X yesterday about your own experience as an immigrant.
I was mad. I was.
Tammy asked a question earlier. She saw your post and she appreciated it, and she wanted to know where you were born.
Latvia. So it's Latvia. It's a small country on the north, Baltic Sea.
Mm-hmm.
My parents are from Ukraine, but they went to Latvia to go to school. So came here almost like 20-something years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
We love you.
Well, I love you too. Thank you for letting me share this afternoon with you guys.
We will do it again soon. Hammy says, ooh, thank you. Yes. And we'll all watch Andrea together and scream and rage together.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure we'll see each other on the Twitter
Okay.
streets.
Drive
Bye.
safe.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.